In this world, our MC Tsukune Aono proves that even a clueless human can stumble into a world full of monsters, literally. You'd think surviving high school would be tough enough, but Tsukune is not just facing pop quizzes. Instead, he's got vampires treating him like a juice box, and succubi who view him as their next meal ticket. Honestly, his biggest talent seems to be running away from danger, instead of actually doing something useful. If there were a trophy for being the most pathetic main character, Tsukune would win it hands down. The story is about how he navigates life at a school where the stakes are higher than his IQ. Tsukune Aonyo, an average, pathetic student, fails his high school entrance exams but ends up enrolled in Yōkai Academy after his father finds a mysterious packet of information that any reasonable father who loves his child will avoid. On his way to the academy, the bus driver gives him a cryptic warning, telling him to be careful as the school is scary. As they pass through a tunnel, Tsukune's cousin Kyoko tries to warn him about Yōkai Academy, but the call cuts off. Once at the stop, the driver warns him to watch his back before disappearing into the tunnel again. Tsukune begins his walk toward the dorms, but hears a squeaking noise behind him. The pathetic coward is relieved as he finds it's just a bat, but he doesn't notice a runaway bicycle speeding toward him. The bike slams into him, and he and the rider both crash to the ground. As Tsukune regains his senses, he reaches out to help himself up, only to realize his hand has landed on a girl's thigh and on the road to paradise. The girl, who introduces herself as Moka Akashiya, is beautiful, and Tsukune becomes embarrassed when he realizes where his hand is. She apologizes for crashing into him, and they exchange introductions. As they talk, Moka begins to act strange, mumbling about a smell. Tsukune is confused until she suddenly bites him on the neck, revealing she is a vampire. Shocked, Tsukune checks his neck but finds no wound, only lipstick. Moka apologizes for biting him and asks if he is also a student at Yōkai Academy. Tsukune, still flustered, says he is a freshman. Moka is overjoyed and asks if they can be friends. Together, they head toward the school. In homeroom, Tsukune meets his teacher, Shizuka Nekonome, and initially thinks he lucked out with how kind she seems. However, Miss Nekonome soon reveals that Yōkai Academy is a school for monsters, where students must learn to blend in with humans. Tsukune panics, realizing he is the only human there, and that humans caught at the academy are sentenced to immediate unaliving. His fear only grows when a student named Saizo Komiya mentions he smells a human nearby. Tsukune tries to stay low, but the situation becomes more complicated when Moka enters the room, late for class. She joyfully hugs Tsukune in front of everyone, drawing attention to him. The degenerate other boys in the class instantly become jealous baboons. Later, Tsukune and Moka explore the school, and while Moka gains popularity with the boys, Tsukune becomes a target for their burning hatred and purified anger. At a vending machine, Saizo appears, tossing Tsukune into the machine like a useless ragdoll and trying to hit on Moka. Moka rejects the fool and helps Tsukune up. Afterward, on the rooftop, Moka asks Tsukune if he's okay. She questions what kind of monster he is, but quickly realizes it's against the rules to ask. Tsukune brushes it off, but Moka continues talking about her being a vampire. She explains that her rosary keeps her from transforming into a powerful vampire. Tsukune reassures her that no matter how scary she might become, he still sees her as the same person. Touched, Moka hugs him, telling him that he's her first real friend and the first person she's ever sucked blood from. Still shaken by all the revelations, Tsukune decides to leave Yōkai Academy. However, Moka catches up to him and pleads for him to stay, revealing that she grew up in the human world, where she was isolated and lonely because humans don't believe in monsters. Tsukune admits that he's a human, but before they can discuss it further, Saizo appears again. This time, he transforms into his true form, a massive, ugly orc, and attacks Moka. Tsukune tries to intervene, but him being the weakling that he is, he's easily overwhelmed. As Moka is cornered by Saizo, she confesses to Tsukune that she fears she will never have a real friend because of her nature as a vampire. Despite his injuries, Tsukune tells her he still wants to be friends. Moka is moved, but Saizo interrupts and knocks Tsukune toward her. In the chaos, Tsukune accidentally pulls off Moka's rosary, triggering her transformation into her true vampire form. With silver hair and glowing red eyes, the transformed Moka easily defeats Saizo with a single kick. Afterward, Tsukune, still dazed, wonders which version of Moka is the real one. Moka reverts to her original form, and Tsukune collapses into her arms like a defenseless baby. As he begins to lose consciousness, he notices her scent is the same, which calms him. Tsukune wakes up later on Moka's lap, horrified to discover that the bus only comes once a month, meaning he is stuck at Yōkai Academy. Just as he processes this information, Moka bites him again, drawn to the scent of his blood. Tsukune is narrating a letter to his parents about life at Yōkai Academy. He's relieved to find out that everyone gets their own dorm room. While getting water, he notices that some students struggle to maintain their human forms while asleep, reminding him of the strange environment he's in. On the way to class, Tsukune spots Moka walking, attracting the attention of 3 boys who drool over her like shameless simps. To their frustration, Moka rushes to Tsukune, grabbing his arm and greeting him cheerfully. The boys are jealous of Tsukune, and while they've heard rumors that he beat up Saizo, Tsukune is surprised by how distorted the story has become. Moka notices him spacing out and playfully pulls him along, unaware that someone is watching them. When they're alone, Moka offers to help Tsukune in any way she can since he's human. Tsukune feels confused about which version of Moka is the real one, this sweet girl, or the one who fought Saizo. Moka suddenly becomes weak, admitting she skipped breakfast, then bites Tsukune's neck to feed on his blood. Afterward, Tsukune freaks out and runs off, much to Moka's confusion. While recovering by a pond, Tsukune worries about Moka constantly drinking his blood and what dangers might arise from the other yokai. Suddenly, he spots a beautiful girl who has collapsed nearby. The virgin boy is flustered by her looks. Tsukune helps her up, but is shocked when she presses herself against him like his long-lost horny stepsister. Introducing herself as Kurumu, she charms Tsukune, getting closer to him while smirking secretly. Meanwhile, Moka, feeling guilty for biting Tsukune, decides to find him and apologize. Back with Tsukune, Kurumu reveals that she's in the same class as him and acts weak to get his attention, rubbing herself against him like an annoying pest. Tsukune, though embarrassed, enjoys the feeling but scolds himself mentally. Kurumu uses her seductive succubus powers to hypnotize Tsukune, making him act affectionate. Moka arrives and is hurt when Tsukune coldly tells her off, not realizing he's under Kurumu's spell. During class, Tsukune breaks free from the spell, but feels guilty for what he said to Moka. Kurumu, however, is delighted by her victory. After class, Kurumu brags to Moka about her plan to create a harem of boys at the academy, revealing that she's a succubus. Moka is shocked by her audacity and worries about Tsukune, especially when Kurumu hypnotizes him again, making him insult Moka even more. Hurt and confused, Moka runs off in tears. Kurumu then takes Tsukune to the nurse's office, planning to fully enslave him with her succubus charm. Tsukune, feeling awful for how he treated Moka, is on the verge of succumbing to Kurumu's control when Moka's Rosario warns her that Tsukune's life is in danger. With no other choice, Moka rushes to rescue him. As Kurumu prepares to lock lips with the hopeless Tsukune and make him her permanent slave, Tsukune musters the strength to resist, embracing her instead. He tells her that while she's attractive, he can't go through with it because he cares for someone else. Kurumu, shocked, breaks down, accusing Tsukune of preferring Moka over her. Realizing she can't win him over, Kurumu transforms into her true form to unalive him. Just as Kurumu is about to strike, Moka arrives and knocks her away, revealing Kurumu's nature as a succubus to Tsukune. Kurumu retaliates, dragging both Tsukune and Moka into the woods, but can't hold on to both and drops them. In a final showdown, Moka reveals how much Tsukune means to her, admitting he's her first real friend. With his life at risk, Tsukune pulls Moka's Rosario, unleashing Inner Moka. Inner Moka easily overpowers Kurumu, calling her selfish for wanting to enslave the innocent unknowingly boys. Kurumu, terrified, begs for mercy when Moka threatens to maim her. Tsukune steps in, asking Moka to spare Kurumu, believing she's not truly evil. Inner Moka reluctantly agrees, explaining that she only saved Tsukune for his blood. The next day, Tsukune apologizes to Moka, who forgives him. Their moment is interrupted by Kurumu, who now insists that Tsukune is her mate of fate, much to his horror. The two girls argue over him, and Moka ends up biting him again. Tsukune writes a letter to his family. He shares his thoughts about the midterm exams, which happened much sooner than he expected. Despite his hard work, his low IQ only manages to place 128th in the freshman class rankings, which isn't bad, but it's not great either. Tsukune's mood lightens when he overhears 3 male students nearby celebrating the fact that they are ranked almost 100 places behind him. which makes Tsukune realize things could have been worse. However, his shock returns when he discovers that Moka Akashia, the beautiful vampire girl he's now close to, has scored an impressive 13th place. Tsukune congratulates her on such a high score, but Moka downplays her success, claiming it was a fluke. She sweetly offers to help Tsukune study for the next round of tests, making the surrounding male students burn with jealousy as they can't stand the fact that Tsukune is getting so much attention from Moka. As Tsukune continues to marvel at his luck, he notices a situation unfolding nearby. Yukari Sendo, a 12-year-old witch who skipped 4 grades and is considered the smartest student in the entire school, is being harassed by the class president and his cronies. The class president scolds her for wearing her witch's outfit, as it openly reveals her true nature, which violates the school's rules. He rudely tells her to follow the dress code and stop drawing attention to herself. In retaliation, Yukari uses her magic to drop heavy wash tubs on the class president and his henchmen, leaving her giggling in true witch fashion. However, her amusement quickly fades when the class president moves to strike her in anger. Before he can, Moka steps in to defend Yukari, reminding him that hitting girls is unacceptable. Embarrassed by the attention the confrontation is drawing, the class president begrudgingly leaves, sneering like the Grinch at Yukari as he goes. In the cafeteria later, Yukari approaches Moka to thank her for coming to her defense. Moka and Tsukune praise Yukari for her academic brilliance, but Yukari brushes off the compliments. Then, out of nowhere, she leaps onto Moka, hugging her tightly and gushing about how much she adores her. Tsukune barely manages to contain a nosebleed as Yukari clings to Moka's chest, declaring that she wants Moka to be her girlfriend. Moka gently clarifies that they can be friends, but Yukari takes the comment much more romantically. Yukari's infatuation with Moka doesn't stop there. As they walk through the halls, Yukari continues to cling to Moka, much to the dismay of the male students passing by, who grow more jealous by the second. Moka is clearly uncomfortable but doesn't know how to let Yukari down without hurting her feelings. Eventually, Tsukune intervenes, trying to get Yukari to stop, but she mocks him, calling him average and claiming that she wants Moka all to herself. Deciding that Tsukune needs to be punished for standing between her and Moka, Yukari uses her magic to animate cleaning supplies, sending them after Tsukune. She reveals her true nature as a witch, which doesn't go unnoticed by the lurking class president and his crew, who now have a reason to target her for breaking the school rules. Meanwhile, Tsukune is being treated for the injuries Yukari's magic caused by Kurumu Kurono, the succubus who's been vying for his attention from the start. Kurumu noticed that Yukari has kept Moka away from Tsukune, leaving her an opening to swoop in and snatch her prey. She seizes the opportunity to comfort Tsukune, trying to seduce him by sympathizing with his situation. She also reveals that Yukari isn't exactly popular with her classmates either. Outside, Yukari continues scheming, determined to keep Tsukune away from Moka. She uses a voodoo doll to take control of Tsukune's body, forcing him to fondle and feel up a very willing Kurumu. Tsukune, unable to control his actions, complies, much to Kurumu's delight. However, their little scene is interrupted when Moka walks in and catches Tsukune in the act. Confused, Kurumu gets off the bed, and just as she's explaining that she didn't hypnotize Tsukune, he starts pulling down her underwear, much to everyone's shock. Yukari is caught laughing outside the window, making it clear that she was behind Tsukune's strange behavior all along. Frustrated by Yukari's constant pranks, Tsukune, Moka, and Kurumu confront her in the classroom. Tsukune tries to get through to her, warning her that she won't make any friends if she keeps acting out. Kurumu, surprisingly, isn't too bothered by Yukari's antics, but Yukari herself is taken aback by Tsukune's words. She brushes off his concerns and arrogantly states that she doesn't need friends if they aren't as smart as her. However, her facade cracks when she admits that she's always been alone. Seeing this, Tsukune reaches out to her, but Yukari laughs and drops more objects on his head, claiming he's too easy to fool. She runs out of the classroom, and Tsukune starts to follow her, but Moka stops him, reminding him that Yukari is just a little girl who's hurting inside. As Yukari runs through the school, she reflects on her situation. Her classmates don't like her because she's a witch, and they think she cheats with magic to get ahead. To retaliate, Yukari began pulling pranks on them, which only isolated her further. Lost in thought, she bumps into the class president and his squad. They've been waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and now that she's exposed herself as a witch, they have all the justification they need to punish her for breaking the rules. They drag her to a pond near the school and reveal their true forms as lizard men. Yukari tries to fight back with her magic wand, but the class president eats it like a black hole, leaving her defenseless. Just as things are looking dire, Moka arrives to save Yukari, completely ignoring the danger posed by the lizard men. She tells Yukari that if she doesn't want to be alone anymore, she just needs to say so. Moka relates to Yukari's pain, admitting that she was alone before meeting Tsukune. Touched by Moka's words, Yukari cries like a spoiled baby and hugs her. The lizard men, annoyed that they've been forgotten, move in to attack, but Yukari bites the class president's tail in desperation. He swipes at her, but Tsukune takes the hit, pushing Yukari out of harm's way. Shocked that Tsukune would save her, Yukari begins to understand that he too knows what it feels like to be alone. She playfully scolds him for being a liar, but realizes how injured he is when he winces in pain. The lizard men continue their attack, but Kurumu swoops in to save Tsukune and Yukari from being eaten. Tsukune, despite his injuries, tries to stand and protect his friends, which causes Kurumu to swoon. However, he collapses from his wounds, accidentally removing Moka's rosario in the process. With her rosario removed, inner Moka emerges, and the lizard men are in for a rude awakening. The class president, instead of being scared, focuses on the fact that Moka has broken the school's hair dyeing rule. His minions try to attack her, but they're quickly dispatched with powerful kicks. The class president accuses her of breaking more school rules by being so strong, but inner Moka doesn't care. She kicks him into the pond, telling him to cool his head. He sinks to the bottom, promising to do just that. After the fight, Yukari breaks down again, grateful to have friends like Moka, Tsukune, and Kurumu. A few days later, she apologizes to her classmates for her pranks, and they apologize for mistreating her. It seems Yukari has matured a bit, though Moka and Kurumu are shocked when they find her clinging to Tsukune in their classroom. Yukari declares that she now loves Tsukune as much as she loves Moka, sparking a tug-of-war between her and Kurumu. Moka, ever the possessive one, tells them that Tsukune belongs to her and bites him again, leaving Tsukune to lament over how much blood she drinks. Nearly a month has passed since Tsukune began attending Yōkai Academy. He still struggles to adapt to his new environment and keep his human identity a secret. On top of that, he can't contact his parents to tell them about his situation, which only adds to his never-ending pool of misery. During class, while lost in thought, Tsukune worries about what he should do regarding his predicament. When his teacher, Miss Nekonome, calls on him to read from a textbook, he accidentally responds with, "What the hell should I do?" Embarrassed, as he has showed everyone he's a big fool, he quickly realizes his mistake, and Miss Nekonome tells him to simply read the page, leaving Tsukune flustered. Later, Moka and Tsukune are on the school rooftop, where Moka notices that Tsukune seemed distracted during class. He lies, blaming his odd behavior on being sleepy. As they exchange looks, a brief romantic K-drama moment unfolds, and Moka comments on how nice Tsukune smells. However, this immediately causes Tsukune to realize she is thinking about drinking his blood. Moka prepares to bite him, but their moment is interrupted by Kurumu, who chastises Moka for sucking too much of Tsukune's blood lately. Although Tsukune looks physically drained, he insists that Moka taking his blood is not a problem, since it is necessary for her health. Kurumu then takes advantage of the situation and says she has needs too, using her charm to hypnotize Tsukune and rubbing against him suggestively like a top 10 OnlyFans user. However, Moka stops her, reminding Kurumu that if she kisses Tsukune, he will become her slave. Tsukune later contemplates the strangeness of his life at Yōkai Academy, wondering how he ended up being friends with a vampire, succubus, and witch. While taking out the trash, Tsukune is confronted by 3 male students who introduce themselves as Kozo Kasahara, Kubasaki Nagi, and Bosaburo Taira. These 3 boys are part of the Fan Club Coalition, a group that idolizes Moka, Kurumu, and Yukari. They view Tsukune as their enemy for spending so much time with their idols and decide to beat him up. Despite their efforts, Tsukune doesn't fight back, and they mock him for being weak little pathetic ingot, almost like a regular human. Just then, a trash can mysteriously floats above the 3 boys and dumps its contents on them. It turns out Yukari is using her magic to protect Tsukune. She runs over, warning the trio to leave him alone, and soon, Kurumu and Moka arrive to back her up. The boys, overwhelmed by the presence of their glorified hentai idols, are quickly scared off when Yukari animates nearby cleaning supplies to chase them away. However, in the chaos, a bucket accidentally hits Tsukune on the head, knocking him down and giving the boys a chance to flee. Kurumu attempts to give chase, but Tsukune stops her. That night, Tsukune tends to his wounds and reflects on his place at Yōkai Academy. He feels conflicted about staying, as he constantly needs to be rescued by the girls, which only highlights his own weakness. Talking to his cell phone, he wonders if anyone can hear him or offer advice. But of course, there's no response. Tsukune considers whether he should leave the academy and return to his normal life in the human world. Meanwhile, the simping fools, Kozo, Kubasaki, and Bosaburo gather in their club room where they obsess over pictures of Moka, Kurumu, and Yukari. Kozo, determined to get rid of Tsukune, proposes that they eliminate him once and for all so they can have the girls to themselves. The announcer bat hanging from a nearby beam overhears their conversation and finds their plan amusing. The next day at lunch, Kurumu and Yukari inform Tsukune that two of the boys from yesterday's encounter, Kubasaki and Bosaburo, have been stalking them. Kubasaki by taking pictures, and Bosaburo by following them around. Moka, who has not had similar experiences, agrees with their concerns. Kurumu remarks that they can easily handle those boys if necessary, but the real issue is Tsukune, who refuses to fight back. She suggests that she and the other girls act as Tsukune's bodyguards so they can deal with the boys the next time they try to attack him. Tsukune is not keen on the idea of having bodyguards, but Moka points out that he's not very strong. Realizing she might have insulted him, Moka quickly adds that Tsukune could be stronger in his monster form. Tsukune, frustrated by the conversation, finishes his lunch and walks away. Moka follows, apologizing for her slip-up, but Tsukune tells her that's not why he's upset. He avoids explaining further and runs off. That evening, Tsukune leaves his dorm with a packed bag, his room having been tidied up. A note sits on his desk, reading, "No one will read this one either." Meanwhile, Yukari is using her magic to clean the school grounds when she spots Tsukune walking past with a serious expression. On the rooftop, Moka is worrying if Tsukune is still mad at her from earlier when Yukari arrives and tells her about Tsukune's somber demeanor. Realizing what might be happening, Moka immediately assumes that Tsukune is planning to leave the academy. Tsukune arrives at the bus stop, preparing to leave Yōkai Academy and return to the human world. As he mentions Moka's name, he is suddenly ambushed by the simping fan club coalition. Kozo angrily scolds Tsukune for saying one of their idol's names so casually. Although they don't know where Tsukune is headed, they are determined to take this opportunity to get rid of him. They reveal their true monster forms, but Tsukune is unimpressed, as their transformations are far from intimidating and lame. The boys, however, mistake his reaction for ridicule, thinking that Tsukune finds them lame, just like other students do. As Tsukune stands speechless, unable to find a way to boost their self-esteem, the boys begin explaining their frustrations. They idolize Moka, Kurumu, and Yukari because they believe they cannot attract girls of their own. They hate Tsukune for winning the attention of these girls without even trying. The trio starts to beat stars and wisdom into Tsukune up again, and since he is human, he is unable to fight back. Just then, Moka's voice is heard, demanding that they stop. The boys look up and see Moka, Kurumu, and Yukari flying in thanks to Kurumu's wings. Kurumu complains about always being the one to carry everyone around, and Yukari apologizes, explaining that she forgot the spell to fly. Moka reminds them that they need to focus on helping Tsukune. Kurumu kicks Kubasaki, freeing Tsukune, and Yukari uses her magic to conjure a chair for Tsukune to sit on. Moka rushes to Tsukune's side to check if he's okay, but Tsukune only feels embarrassed that he had to be saved again. Moka slaps him, calling him a worthless idiot for not understanding that friends help each other. She reminds him that he's saved her, Kurumu, and Yukari in the past, which makes them even. The fan club members become jealous, enraged by the affection Tsukune is receiving from their idols. Determined to defeat him once and for all, they merge their monster forms into a large, powerful amalgamation that knocks Tsukune to the ground. Moka runs over to help him, and in the process, he accidentally pulls off her rosary, allowing inner Moka to emerge. The boys, now in awe of inner Moka, immediately begin worshipping her like the smooth-brained simps they are. Inner Moka quickly takes control of the situation, instructing Kurumu to attack from behind, while Yukari trips the giant with magic. Inner Moka then delivers a powerful kick, defeating the monster and causing it to revert back into the boys' human forms. The boys, now thoroughly humbled, decide to form a new fan club, this time in honor of Inner Moka, before passing out. Inner Moka turns to Tsukune and tells him that leaving Yōkai Academy won't work for her since she needs him for food, and Outer Moka would be devastated if he left. Kurumu and Yukari also beg Tsukune not to go, hugging him and probably letting him feel some of the treasures he'll miss. Tsukune, confused, asks who told them he was leaving. Yukari points out his packed bag, but Tsukune reveals that the bag is only filled with letters he wanted the bus driver to mail to his parents. Kurumu and Yukari realize that outer Moka jumped to the wrong conclusion. The bus soon arrives, and the bus driver agrees to mail Tsukune's letters, commending him for staying in touch with his parents. As the bus drives away, inner Moka seals herself, and outer Moka, now half asleep, falls into Tsukune's arms, pleading with him not to leave. Tsukune assures her that he won't, deciding to stay at the academy for now. The next day in class, Miss Nekonome announces that the student dormitories now have payphones that connect to the human world, and the bus schedule has been increased to once a day due to high demand. Thanks for joining us on another adventure, my fellow weebs. If you enjoyed this episode of Weebtoons, make sure to smash that like button and leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel.